Morning, friends. Welcome back. Okay, so probably today is our last demo session, and from tomorrow, I think they will change the link of our class. So, in case if you're interested, if someone has not still joined the session, join the course, please call them and just do all the other, other things. And one more thing, actually, I'm not completely well today. I'm very sorry for this. So I may not take complete 1 hour session today. I'll just try to go as far as possible, but I'm very sorry for the inconvenience, my friend. My health is not so good today, actually. Okay, fine. So what we did till now, remember yesterday we saw the global infrastructure. We saw the AWS global infrastructure, right? So let me just go there and see some more things. So when we say AWS global infrastructure, we are talking only about Amazon here. Fine. So we know what is a region now, and we know what is a availability zone. So as of now, there are totally 34 regions, and in each region, minimum 3 availability zones will be there, or it can go up to like 6. So majority of regions are having only 3 availability zones, but there are few regions where there are 4 or more than 4 availability zones. Okay, so region is a place, city, country, whatever. And availability zone is actually the data center. So how many data centers will be there in each region? Minimum 3 data centers will be there in each region, and the size of the data center can be, it will be too big, right? Okay, and physically they are separated, let's say, at least some kilometers away or up to like 100 kilometers away. If one region is there in Mumbai, all the 3 availability zones will not be there in the same location. It will be there in different locations, which can go up to like 100 kilometers away. Okay. Now, so once you create your AWS account, how to create AWS account, that we will see in coming classes. But once you create your AWS account, it will be something like this. So here, this is your AWS. Once you click here, you will just go to the main screen here. This is AWS here. Okay. And here we can see recently visited services. All these are the services that I have visited recently, and you can click on these services. Let's say EC2, VPC, IAM, S3, all these are different services. For example, EC2 is a service that is related with your virtual servers. VPC is a service where we are learning about networks. S3 is a service where we are learning about, storage. IAM is a service where we are learning about the user management and the group management. If you know these 4 services actually, EC2, S3, VPC, and IAM, you will be eligible to get a job in any company on the face of the earth. As a fresher or as a 2-3 years of experienced person, companies are looking for people who are good in these 4 major services. Okay. Within this service, there are many more services. For example, if I go inside EC2, just click on EC2. Now I'm inside this EC2. So once you go inside EC2, there are many more services here. See, there is something called auto scaling. There is something called load balancer, networking security, elastic block store. There is a storage, images, instances. So it may take probably, let's say, 9 to 10 classes, or maybe more than 9 to 10 classes for us to discuss all these things in great details. Okay, so AWS console is graphical console. Everything will be clearly there. You just need to know what exactly is the service used for and how to configure that service. And in case if there is an issue, how to troubleshoot that particular service. These are the basic things we need to learn. I repeat, what is a service? Okay, how to configure that service and how to troubleshoot that service. Fine. Every service is very logical service, actually, my friend. It will not be difficult for you to understand what is this, load balancer, or it will not be difficult for you to understand what is this auto scaling. Theoretically, things will be more easier. Practically, again, things will be easier. So first of all, we need to learn the theory part, and then we need to learn the practicals part. So to do the practicals, what you need to have, this AWS account. So how to create an account, we will see. Okay, but as of now, let me just go back to my AWS account here. And in this AWS account, there is a section here called billing and cost management. Normally people say AWS is a free tier account. AWS account is free tier account. Okay, they're not 100% wrong there. Okay, it is a free tier account, but everything is not free there actually, my friend. There are certain things which are free for some time. There are certain things which are free forever. And there are certain things which are not free even for a second. So whenever we do any practicals, we need to know the service that we are using, is it free or is it paid? If it is paid, then you have to do the practicals and just try to terminate that configuration as early as possible. Okay, or else billing will come. So if I go to my billing and cost management section here, I'll show you how much bill I got for the last month. Okay, so this is November. Let me just go to this view bill section. So as of now, billing is pending for my November month. So once I finish this November month, then billing will be generated. Okay. So if I go and check my last month, that is October 2024, see, I got USD 2.1. And if you just convert this in Indian rupees, 17.66 Indian rupees. So this is what I got for the month of October. See, I'm using this account for many classes actually, right? But still how much I got? 17 rupees is the bill I got. Now, do I need to pay this money? See, if I don't pay this money, after 3 months, AWS people will deactivate my account or suspend the account actually. They will simply suspend the account. Okay. So after suspending the account, then I have to pay it. Then again, they will deactivate. Okay. So it's better if you get some bill, let's say 15, 20, 30, 100, 200, pay that bill and, keep your account alive. Okay, so billing will be this much. So although it is a free tier account, but like I said, you friends, everything is not free. There are certain services which are free. There are certain services free for some time, and there are certain services not at all free for even a second actually. So we need to be very careful when we do these practicals. Okay, whenever we go with a service, my responsibility will be to, explain you like how much charges can be applied, how much billing will be applied. One of the responsibility of a cloud administrator is we need to minimize the billing. I repeat, we need to minimize our billing, company's billing. See, why people are moving into cloud? One of the reason is to save money, right? If you go with your on-premise physical network, you are spending crores and crores of rupees. So just to save some money and get more features, we are going to cloud. And again, in cloud, if you are getting more money or more bill every month, that's not a good thing, right? So as a cloud administrator, we just need to take care of our billing section. We just need to use these services in a smart way. Remember how to use these services? There are three things, right? Latency. Just go back to Paint. So what are the things we need to consider? Latency, hmm, services, and the cost. So before we select a region, we need to consider these three things. See, in every scenario, in every situation, latency should get the top priority. Cost should be at bottom. Hmm? We should not simply save money and increase the latency there. No. Latency should be the top priority, but still we simply cannot run anything, or we simply cannot use any number of storage, or we simply cannot run any number of servers. We just need to plan everything properly. See, actually, as a fresher or 2 to 3 years of experience, you may not get all these things actually. Once you get 4, 5, 6 years of experience, maybe you're in a position to decide all these things. Initially, if you join as a fresher or as a 2 or 3 years of experience person, your responsibility will be on selected service. Your senior administrator will ask you to do certain things, certain configurations. Your responsibility is to do those configurations only. But again, in a big picture, as a cloud administrator, you should always try to minimize your cost. Okay. Now, let us go back to the regions and the availability zones. So this is your AWS global infrastructure. Fine. In this global infrastructure, we have how many? As of now, 34 regions are there. Let's say out of these 34 regions, this is your Sydney region. This is your Singapore region. And let's say this is your Mumbai region. Okay. Now, as you know, in each region, we have multiple availability zones. So how many availability zones? Minimum 3 availability zones will be there. And each availability zone is connected with the other availability zone using a physical cable. So this is AZ1 and this is AZ2. And let's say this is your AZ availability zone 3. Done. So they are connected by using fiber optic cables. right? The distance can be, 10, 20, 50, or up to like 100 kilometers, right? This is the distance they will have between these availability zones. Fine. So we know all these things. Now the question here is, if suppose there is a company in Kolkata, or let's say in Delhi, or let's say maybe somewhere in Bangalore. So these companies, they are working, they are physically available in Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, Chennai, maybe somewhere. Okay. So do they have any data? Do they have any regions in Chennai, Kolkata, and Delhi? Answer is no. So from Kolkata, they need to connect either to Mumbai region, or they need to connect either to the Hyderabad region, right? And from Delhi, they need to either connect to the Hyderabad region or the Mumbai region. Okay. How to know which region is better for them? Remember the latency test that we have done yesterday? Just go to Google and say AWS latency test. From that physical location, from where you are testing, it will show how much latency is there from your location to Mumbai and from your location to Hyderabad. Okay. But you know what AWS has done here? Beside having regions and availability zones, they have something called local zones also. What they have? They have some local zones. So what is this local zone here? Local zone means in a place like Delhi, or let's say in a place like Kolkata, they have a small data center. Okay. In a place like Delhi or Kolkata, they have some small data centers, and you can use those small data centers to run your application or store your data. So this is what called local zone. Okay. So in India, beside Mumbai and Hyderabad, which are actually the main regions, there are some more local zones available there, my friend. Let me just show you where are these zones available. See, first of all, we have one more very important thing here. This is called AWS Health. In this AWS Health, it will show you in past 7 days, was there any issue in any of the region? It will simply show you the if there is any issue, or if there is any, problem in connecting to that region, or the problem in, working in that particular data center. If there is some problem like this, it will show all the details there. Okay. And this is your cost and usage. We have already seen this. And here it shows you clearly VPC, I was using this VPC, Elastic Compute, I was using this Elastic Load Balancer. Okay, S3, can you see here? The color coding is also there. The green color is for EC2 other. EC2 other means some other services are there under this EC2, and for that the billing was more. Okay, and if you go to this blue one, S3, it was very less, but still, it is showing all the details here. Okay, so like I said, if you go to this services here, you can see all the services. You can click on the services option and go to the service, or you can simply search the service by entering the name. Fine. So this is your console. You can see it's quite easy to use the console, right? Now I'll go to Hyderabad or Mumbai. Anyway, let's go to Mumbai. And in this Mumbai, again, I'll see the same information there. If you connect yourself to Mumbai, Hyderabad, Singapore, London, any region, the console will still remain same. Okay. Now, let me go back to the main screen here. See, every now and then they will make some changes in the console. Like, for example, if you go with Facebook or WhatsApp, how the Facebook and WhatsApp was there maybe, let's say, 5 years before, it is not same today, right? They have just made some changes there so that, the user can have the better, experience. Okay. Things will be easily available for them. So as of now, this is a console. By the end of our course, maybe some minor changes can be there in this particular console. That is a possibility. Okay. So for this reason, normally it's not possible for anyone to make practical notes. Like, normally when you go and take any notes of any particular course, they have the images, and with the images, they will write down all these steps like do this, do that, all these things, right? Maybe if I finish a book today, after 3 months, maybe most of the things I cannot use in that book because the images will change, right? The images will completely change. Okay, anyhow, this is a console. It's not a big deal to use console. Let me just show you one more thing here now. I'll go back to Google and I'll say Azure Global. Azure is a cloud provider. Microsoft is the cloud provider. Okay, and they name it as Azure Cloud. Okay, so Microsoft Azure. After Amazon, the second most famous cloud provider is Microsoft Azure. So if you go and see the global infrastructure of Microsoft Azure here, it will be like this. Let me just show you. 。 . 。  . 。 . . . . . . . . . 。 . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . 。 。 Okay, so they are presenting things in a different way. So what you see here, blue color dots are the data centers. So in our country, India, keep your cursor here. It is, they're showing South India actually, but this is, I think, in Chennai. Okay, this is in Chennai. And in Hyderabad also they have. Yeah, this is their Hyderabad location. Okay, and they have in central India, in Pune actually they have, see, they have selected a different city. And what about this? This is also in India. Okay, it is actually coming soon. So see, Microsoft people are using Chennai, Hyderabad, and Pune as their physical locations to provide these services. Okay, but if you go and see the infrastructure here, friends, in AWS, we have 34 regions, but coming to Microsoft, we have how many regions? 63 regions. And how many data centers? 300 data centers. So the physical infrastructure of Microsoft is much more higher compared to the Amazon data center, right? See, here we have 60, in Amazon we have only 34. 300 data center, 300 plus data centers in Microsoft, and 108 data centers in AWS. But why still AWS is considered as number one? See, infrastructure is more in Microsoft Azure, but the services that they provide are much lesser compared to the AWS. There are many factors that will define which one is number one and which one is number two, right? Okay, so one of the factor is AWS people have much better infrastructure. Okay, the downtime is much less here. See, downtime is a part and parcel of our cloud. If someone says there is no downtime in cloud, that's a completely lie statement. That's a completely false statement. Downtime will be there for sure, but we need to identify how quickly that particular data center can come up. Okay, so AWS people have better troubleshooting or better, uptime. Fine. And if I go and download a particular report here, there is something called Gartners. This is a company, every year they will do some surveys and they will try to put the details of a particular business, like who is number one, who is number two, and who is number three, and all those things. So I say I'm actually in the azure.amazon.com website here. And if I just go and click on this Gartner's report here, what they will show you? They will show you who is number one cloud provider as of today. So as of today, see here. I hope you can see here. The Amazon Web Services is at number one place, Microsoft is at number two place, and Google is at number three place. And the fourth one is for Oracle. So this particular report is published by the Gartner's people, and the Microsoft people have uploaded this particular report in their official website. So this is not the report we are taking from the Amazon people, right? Okay, so this is the report we have seen in the Microsoft Azure web page only. Okay, and from fourth, actually, the number can go up and down. But for last 10, 12 years, when you see the results of Gartner's, first, second, and third is always for Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. Again, what is the reason? There are certain reasons like the services, what they offer, okay, the billing, what they offer, okay, and the support, what they offer. Okay, so Amazon is much better in all these things compared to Microsoft or Google. Fine. So this is your Microsoft global infrastructure. So like this, when you have time, just go to Google and say Google global infrastructure, Oracle global infrastructure. You can just go and explore more things about different cloud providers. Okay. But as of now, we are into the AWS. So let us go back to our AWS console and try to see more things here. Okay. Okay. As of now, maybe you don't have any account. So I just try to go in a simple and easy way. Probably when you create your account, I'll show that account how to create maybe tomorrow or after tomorrow. So then probably you can go and explore many things here. But as of now, let us just go to a different thing. So I hope you have clear idea now what is a global infrastructure. In that global infrastructure, what is a region and what is the availability zone. One of the responsibilities to select the region and the availability zone when you run any application there, my friend. Okay. Now let us try to explore more things about cloud. There are certain deployment models we have in cloud. There is something called public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. When you talk about a public cloud, like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, they are your public cloud providers. Any company can connect to them and they can run their applications and store the data. A banking sector, a hospital, or any XYZ company can connect and they can simply run their application and store the data. That is called public cloud. For example, if you go and say Gmail is for everyone, right? Gmail is for each and every person. In a company, they can create an account in Gmail. Your personal mail ID can be in Gmail. So it's a public mail account. Okay. So public cloud providers are the providers who will provide services to any type of company, or for your personal use also you can use them. Okay. Now, then there is something called private cloud. Like you can see here in private cloud, what we have here in private cloud, we have branch A, branch B, branch C, and branch D. I'm not saying company 1, company 2, company 3. I'm saying branches here. Okay. So these branches belongs to same company. So what exactly happens in private cloud is there is a concept called virtualization. See, virtualization concept will take at least a day for us to understand. And without understanding virtualization concept, it's very difficult to understand the cloud concept actually. So virtualization is the backbone of any cloud computing service provider. So what is virtualization? We will see that later. But as of now, a simple example. You know what company can do? Let's say a company like SBI, a bank like SBI, they have thousands of branches. So they can establish their own data centers. In a city like Hyderabad or Mumbai, Chennai, wherever, they can establish their own data centers and they can allow their branches to connect to the data centers and run their applications and store the data. So beside their branches, no other company can connect to that particular data center. I repeat, beside their branches, no other company is allowed to connect and store the data there. This is called private cloud. Okay, so what we need to know in private cloud, as a cloud administrator, can I get a job in private cloud? Of course, you can get a job in private cloud because, the technologies that we use in private cloud are networks, servers, storage, database. These are the technologies we use in private cloud. And what are the technologies we use in public cloud? Network, servers, storage, database. So at the end of the day, you'll be, familiar with both the types of cloud. But the extra thing that you need to know in private cloud is you need to know about the virtualization concept in great details. Coming to public cloud, you just need to know what is virtualization. There is no need to learn complete virtualization. There is something called VMware, ESXi virtualization, Microsoft Hyper-V virtualization, Citrix, Zen servers virtualization. Okay, so these are the components that provides you the virtualization. So in a public cloud, you just need to know the basics of virtualization. That's more than enough. But in private cloud, you need to go through all the details of the virtualization. I remember before COVID, actually, I used to take the VMware classes. Okay, VMware, vSphere, ESXi. So if you know that particular course, you're eligible to get a job in private cloud. Okay, and with this, you should have the knowledge of servers and storage and networking and all the other things. Fine. Now, there is one more cloud here that is called hybrid cloud. Actually, this is the cloud that is most famous. Remember, I told you, if someone says companies have completely moved into cloud, that is not a true statement. If someone says the data in cloud is not safe and secure, again, that is not a true statement. So companies, they are not moving completely into cloud. What they are doing here is they are keeping majority of things in the public cloud, but still they want to keep something in their private cloud, in their local area network. Let's say if there are 100 servers, maybe 60 to 70 servers are running in public cloud like Amazon, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, whatever. But at least 30% servers, they are still running within their company. So normally people say like there are no jobs for the network administrators now. That's a completely, false statement actually. Network administrators will remain in demand till the time the technology is there, my friend. Like, if someone is interested in CCNA, CCNP, all these technologies, the demand of network administrators will remain till the time the computer networks are there. Okay. So in this hybrid cloud, you know what happens? Some servers will be there in our on-premise data center and some servers are running over the public cloud. So our responsibility will be, as a cloud administrator, our responsibility will be working on this public cloud servers. Okay. And who will work on the private cloud? See, as a public cloud administrator, you know everything about private cloud actually, because you'll be learning about servers here, you'll be learning about networks here, you'll be learning about storage here. Same thing we have here, servers, networks, storage. So you're eligible to get a job in both the cases. Okay. So this is the, widely used model we have across the globe. companies will go with the hybrid cloud. Some servers are running within the company, some data is stored within their company, and the majority of data will be still uploaded on the public cloud. Okay, now there is one more actually. Beside this public, private, and hybrid, there is one more cloud that is called community cloud. You know what is community cloud? Community cloud means some companies can come together. Let's say banking sector. Let's say 3-4 banks can come together. When I say bank, all these banks will use similar applications to run their business, right? So they need similar hardware, they need similar operating systems, they need similar applications and all those things. So maybe let's say 4-5 banks can come together and they can make a data center. Okay, and in this data center, SBI people can run their application here. And let's say ICICI people can run their application here. And let us say HDFC people can run the application there. Their applications, their data is completely independent to each other. They are completely safe and secure. But you know what is the advantage here? If they are coming together and making the infrastructure, the cost will be much more reduced actually. So this is also possible. The community cloud is also possible there. Okay. So whether it is community cloud, public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, what you need to know to get a job in all this cloud, you need to know Amazon Web Services to get a job in all these things. One more thing here, my friend. Once you complete your AWS, within next 2 to 3 months, actually, you will be completing your Microsoft Azure also. After you complete your AWS, my recommendation is go with Microsoft Azure also. But now the question here is, do we need to learn each and everything again from scratch? Answer is no. The services will remain same. Like for example, in AWS, we call it as EC2 service. In Azure, we call it as virtual machine or virtual server. That's the only difference. So whatever services I have highlighted here.
But these two are very different fields, right? Different career paths.
Which one? Azure and AWS?
AWS.
No,
Yeah.
my friend. They are completely similar paths. See here, in this AWS, we have EC2 here. Let me just change the color. So we have EC2, we have VPC, we have IAM, we have S3, 4 major services, right? 4 very important services. If you go to Azure, you will see S3 with a different name. You will see IAM with a different name. You will see VPC with a different name. You will see EC2 with a different name. So if you know the theoretical part of EC2, VPC, IAM, and S3 in AWS, it will be similar in Azure. The only difference can be the practicals. Okay, and it is highly recommended, like at least in next 6 months, try to put 2 different cloud services or cloud providers on your resume. Okay, so you will get more job opportunities there. So, but again, I'm saying, if you know the AWS very well, if you learn the services and the concepts of AWS very well, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Oracle, okay, Alibaba, Citrix, Cisco, you know all the other services actually, my friend. You know all the other cloud providers. The only major difference will be the practicals. Got it? They are not different path, they are similar path. If you want to get more, response on your resume, okay, as a fresher, probably you will be mentioning only Linux server administration and the Amazon Web Services there. But once you enter into the market, you will realize, okay, if I just spend next 20 days properly, every day 1 hour, 1.5 hour properly, I'll complete my Azure also next 20 days. That's it. That's the advantage you have here. Once you do with your AWS, your Azure will be automatically done. You just need to see the practicals. I highly recommend it that every person should have Microsoft Azure as well as AWS on their resume. Okay, in case if you know only AWS and if the company feel like, okay, you're good technically, and in that company, let's say if they have only Azure, they can still take you. They will still take you and they will simply spend 1 week or 10 days on you to get familiar with all the Azure services. Actually the reality is you're learning many services here, my friend. But once you get a job, your responsibility may be on IAM. That's it. You're not working on any other service. You're working only on this IAM service. See, cloud administration is not one person job. It is a teamwork. There are multiple services we are using. There are multiple services companies are using. So for multiple services, they need multiple people. For example, if you go with this EC2, maybe there are, let's say, 10 administrators who are working on one EC2 service. What it maybe there are 10 administrators who are working on one EC2 service. So it's not like you'll be handling all the services there. No, you'll be handling only one, or let's say if you are having 4 or 5 years of experience, your responsibility will be there on two services. That's it. Learning is actually the most challenging thing for you. Working is the easiest thing because everything is clearly there on your screen. When you go to the through the console of this particular AWS, for example, if I go to EC2 here, and if I say launch instance, okay, I'll do one thing. Within next couple of minutes, I will launch a web server. Just give me a couple of minutes. I will show you how easy it is to work. I'm not explaining anything here, my friend. Explanation will take at least 10 classes. So in next 2 minutes, I will create a web server and we will see whether we can connect to that web server or not. Say I'm connected to which region now? As of now, I'm connected to Mumbai region. Done. In Mumbai, I will create a web server for you. So there is an option called launch instance. I'm just saying a name here. I'll enter a name as web server 1. I'll go with Amazon Linux, instance type T2. There is something called key pair, network settings. Like I said, I'm not explaining anything here, friends. I'll just go and do the configuration here. Security group, I will select as SSH. Security group is actually firewall. VPC is actually your network. Okay, key pair is actually your security password. Instance type is your actually the hardware of your machine. How much configuration you need. AMI is your operating system. See how many things I have selected now. We'll see all these things in great details. As of now, storage, 8 GB storage, done. Now I'll go to advanced details here. And in this advanced details, I have one script here. I will just use this script, copy. And let me just change something. I'll do one thing. I'll write down all our names. Shakeel, Ananta, Durga, Jamsheda, Mahinder, Srikanth, Durga. Let me just write some more names here, like say Trump. Okay, and let me just write Virat Kohli. See, this is actually a website I'm creating now. I have not explained you anything because there is not a session for today. It will take a lot of time for me to explain. I'll just say launch instance here. So in my Mumbai region, I have successfully created a server, and in that server, I have successfully configured web services. So what is the meaning of web service or web server? Web server means you should access a server from any place. Okay. It is about a particular company and it is about the details of that particular company, right? So web server is the most famous server we have over the internet. Okay, still it is showing as pending, but in next 5 to 10 seconds, it will show as running. See how much time it took me to launch a web server or create a web server? Hardly, let's say 30 to 40 seconds. I know all the options, details, status, monitoring, security, networking, storage. I know all these options. So I've just selected it and I've created a web server. Probably by the end of this month, you will be in the same position to launch a web server within like 30 to 40 seconds. That's it. So we have to go through many things. So by the end of this month, we will reach a place where you can simply launch any server or any application and you can access that application over the internet. Fine. Now let me just test it now. I have selected my web server here and there is a IP address here called public IP 3.6.39.202. I'll copy this. I'll go to browser. Okay, I think HTTP is the protocol here. See what I did here. Is it a rocket science? No. I know how to use these services. I know what is a web service. I know what is a network. I know what is a server. I know what is a firewall. Okay. I should know all these things actually as a cloud administrator. So I know all these things. So with the help of all the different services, I have successfully launched my web server. Do one thing, please. I will just paste the address in the chat box. Can you just try to access that server from your location? Maybe someone is in India, maybe some are out of India. Okay. This web server is running in Mumbai, so everyone should connect to this web server. Obviously, web pages are not there. Because of web pages, I'm just using our name. So web pages will be created by some programmers and by using HTML language and some other languages. So web pages are not there, but I have just created a basic website there. So just try to click on this link that I have provided there, http colon some number 3.6 dot. Srikant says it's working. Srikant, from where you're joining this session? Means your city.
I'm from Hyderabad.
Okay, you're from Hyderabad. Fine. I just want to know because the thing is, I'm also sitting in Hyderabad on my laptop. I have connected to cloud. In cloud, I have connected to the Mumbai region. Okay, so I can connect, and all the other people can connect from any location, from India or out of India. From any location, you can simply connect to this web server. Okay, so see how easy it is to, like, Mahinder says it's working, and I'm from USA, Northern Virginia, I guess, right? Fine. You're actually in a place where the AWS people have their main data center or headquarters, what we say normally, right? So see, it's a website. Everyone should access the website, but see how easy it is to launch a website now. There is no server with me in my home. There is no physical server. There is no server operating system. There is no router. There is no storage. There is no firewall. But you know what I did in those 30 to 40 seconds? I'm using a router there. I'm using a firewall there. I'm using the storage services. I'm using the server hardware, as well as I'm using the server operating system. I'm using all these things actually because everything is there in the Mumbai data center. I'm just using them as a virtual device, and I can successfully run my application there. That's it. The main purpose of using the cloud is, the two main purpose are to run the application and store the data. And if you want to store your data, then there is a service called S3. Just go to these services, search for this S3 service. S3 is one of the service. And by using this S3 service, you can create something called, bucket here. And in this bucket, you can simply launch your, or you can simply store your data. Okay, and every time it will show you some FAQs. Whenever you go with any service, the advantage of this AWS console is if you show some FAQs here, frequently asked questions, so it will help you a lot in understanding that particular service. And when you go to interview, they will ask you the same question in interview. Okay, they may ask you, what is S3 general purpose bucket? First of all, we need to say theoretically and practically what is S3 general purpose bucket. And once you finish that, if you go and read this definition once or twice, you will be in a better position to answer that question in an interview. So these are the FAQs. These are the same questions you will get in your interviews. Got it? So for every service, we have all these things. So in coming classes, we will see how to provide security, okay, how to select our storage classes, how to provide the storage management, okay, how to do the replication, all these things we need to see when we go with a particular service. So what I'm trying to say here is learning the AWS can be fun. Learning the AWS can be easy if you follow a particular method. If you go in a particular sequence, it will be easy. Okay. Normally, people try to complicate things actually. I always say this, some people have designed these services. We are simply learning these services. So people who design these services, they are much more superior to you and me, right? In a way, because they have designed everything from scratch up to the advanced level. We are simply trying to learn what is there in that particular service. So if you just try to keep things simple, it will be very easy for you to learn the Amazon Web Services or Linux or Azure or DevOps or cybersecurity and all those things. Always remember one thing, everything is already there. We just need to know what is the option there, how to use that option, why this service is available, how to use this particular service. That's it, my friend. Things will be very easy for you to learn. Okay. Okay, I could take 40-minute session. Actually, I thought I could not take maybe like 20 minutes also. Anyhow, I just want to stop this session here, friends, because, like I said, I'm not so well today. Okay, anyhow, tomorrow I'll be in a much better place, and hopefully tomorrow, like I said they will change the link. So if you want to go through all the other procedure of this particular package, see, as of now, the package is of, this is a package, right? AWS, Linux Server Administration, and Windows Server Administration. This is a package. And as of now, for this Diwali offer, we have this package and this. So if you need any other, see, I think they already sent a message in the chat box, but still, if you need to know some more details of this particular package, you can simply contact them on this number. And probably tomorrow, when we get a regular link, the paid link actually, then I'll share my WhatsApp number as well as my mail ID, so that if you have any doubts, any questions, you can ping me anytime on my mail ID or maybe on WhatsApp. It's better you ping me on WhatsApp because it is much more easier to interact there. So yeah, I'll be sharing my WhatsApp number so that whatever doubts you have, you can clear all your doubts. Theory, practical, theory, practical. That is the codes of Amazon Web Services. Okay. That's it for the day, friends. I'm here for like 2 more minutes. If you still have any questions, any doubts, feel free to send your questions in chat box. We'll address all the questions, then we'll stop the session for today. I think in this batch,
I just have
Anand,
one question, Shakeel.
yeah, Srikanth, please go
So,
ahead.
this course will also help me to cover the certification topic as well, right?
See,
The basic,
certification.
yeah.
Yeah, I got your question. The certification is actually the easiest thing you can do, my friend. Without learning the course also, you can do certification. Certification is a
Mhm.
different ball game. Learning technology is for learning the, working in that particular company as administrator. Certification is a different ball game. If I say,
Okay.
let's say
Mm.
there are, for example, 400 questions and answers. If I provide you 400 questions and answers, and majority of questions will be multiple choice questions and answers. So if I say these are the 400 questions and answers, prepare these 400 questions and answers. And when you go to examination, let's say 55 to 60 questions will come in the exam. And all these 55 to 60 questions will come from these 400 questions. Will it be difficult for you to write the exam?
No.
Remember, in our school days, we used to get some questions
Yeah.
before the exam. Same logic here. So no one will write certifications without preparing. These are known as actually dumps.
Right.
These are called dumps. Without preparing dumps, you simply cannot crack any online exam, whether it is for your AWS or DevOps or let's say cyber security, Windows servers, Linux servers, networking, firewalls. Any certification, if you want to crack, you have to go with these dumps. So learning the
Mm.
technology is the main thing. Examination will be done for sure. Like if you're in some other country, examination is mandatory. In India, maybe it is not so mandatory, but in some other countries like UK, USA, Europe, uh, Gulf countries, Australia, they try to take a person who is a certified person. Okay, so yeah, this is the way to go for certification.
Okay. I have another question. So, have you decided on the timings for the administration, Shakeel? Is it before this class or after this class?
You mean Linux administration?
Yes, because after 10 I would be having an office.
Uh-huh.
So it is possible only before 10 o'clock. So
Okay, we have actually two slots. One is at 7 a.m. and other one is at 10 a.m. So probably within a couple of days, we will decide what time to go. But see, listen, my friend, at 9
yeah,
a.m. is our AWS. So
correct.
in case if it is not possible for you to come at 10 a.m., maybe you can come in an evening batch or maybe you can come in some other batch which may start after like 15 or 20 days. So that is a possibility.
Evening it is little difficult, Shakil, because from 10, right, we would be occupied with office work.
Okay.
So I may not get that much time. So I would generally prefer morning hours. So that is the reason why I'm asking you.
Okay, fine. So like I said, we have two slots available now. We can start at 7 a.m. or 10 a.m. So in case if I start at 10 a.m., the Linux server administration, maybe after a couple of weeks, I'll start another Linux server at maybe 7 a.m. or 6 a.m.
Okay, then I would join that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the, we have to rotate everything, so we cannot fix it. AWS time is fixed for sure, but this is
Mhm.
at 10 a.m. or 7 a.m. But right now, if it is not possible to come at 10 a.m., maybe after a couple of weeks, you can come at some other time, early morning, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., something like this.
Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll do one thing before I log off from my account. I just need to shut down my server. If I keep this server running unnecessarily, then some charges can be applied. Say my server is running here. I'll select the server. I'll go to instance state and there is an option called terminate. So done. That particular web server has been terminated. And if you try to access this again, you cannot access it. That's it. So it is so easy, right? To launch anything and terminate anything. Use it. And if it is not needed, terminate it. Okay, so that's it for the day, friends. We'll meet again tomorrow at same time, 9 a.m. India Standard Time with more details of cloud. Thanks a lot, friends. Bye. Take care.
Thank you.